Welcome back to the channel. This game continues Nigel's tournament in the Lugano Open in Switzerland. He'd won his first two games, and this is the third round game against an FM from Croatia, Darko Covic. The game started as a Queen's Indian by transposition. Trade of pawns in the centre, all normal development. Both sides castle. And here Nigel plays knight to e4, getting a strong point in the centre. And again striking in the centre. A bit of a maybe unnecessary move from white to move the bishop twice in the opening, attacking the knight. And Nigel opts to block with f5. Slightly committal move. And white jumps into the hole that's been created by the f5 move. A lot of trades. And when the dust settles, the position slightly favours black, but it's quite equal. And here white thrusts in the centre, or thrusts on the king side, we go f4. Slightly weakening. A better clear sign of aggression. Nigel takes on passant. Maybe something like bishop c6 first would have been better. And black seems to have a nice position in this position. But he gets something similar in the game anyway. So bishop c6 is played, and the queen retreats to b3. A number of moves here, but Nigel's option is just to take the pawn, which he hopes to hold on to. Rook to e1, grabbing the open file, maybe queen to b3, directly trying to make sure you can get the pawn back would be a better option. And instead of defending the bishop, attacking the bishop on c8, c6, sorry. And something like this would be quite equal, I think. White's going to regain the pawn, d4. Rook to e1 allows black to challenge on the e file and potentially hold on to the pawn on d3 or d4, sorry. Trade of rooks. But this is where the problems start for black, for white even. You can either play bishop a4 here or bishop e5. And bishop e5 is played. And this is quite subtle, because if the queen does move, white will get himself in a whole heap of trouble. The only move really in the position is b4. I'm up to something like this. Even though black is better, it's going to be better than what was played in the game. He plays queen to d2, which gives black a massive advantage, because after d3, the king moves. There's a false win straight away with rook to e2, which Nigel doesn't play. And the queen moves, and then queen to f2. And there's no sensible way to stop the mate on h2 rather than other than giving up material, which he has to do by giving up the bishop. And this is clearly winning for black. And it's surprising that Nigel didn't see this win on the spot. He opted for queen to e3, which is a good enough move, but as I say, rook to e2 looked so natural anyway. Perhaps he was scared of perpetual checks, but I'm not sure. But he still has a very nice position. Hits the rook has to blockade the pawn. And now the bishop gets into c2 to defend the pawn on d3. Black just defends the rook. And you can see that white's going to run out of moves. And the king's just going to start an eventual long king walk to go and support the pawns and win the queenside pawns. And white can't do much more than just shuffle his pieces around and wait for the inevitable. And the king starts edging its way slowly forward. Trade the pawns. And here white decides to resign. As I said, the king's eventually going to come in. The key idea is you've got to get the bishop off the diagonal so the king can get to c4 and c3. And this can be achieved by, say, bishop to f7, rook back, g4. But the key move is bishop to b3. And this is totally winning. The white bishop has to come off the diagonal, which allows king to c4 and then king to c3. So a very nice game from Nigel, who moved to 3 out of 3 in the tournament. A nice smooth win against a lower rated opponent, and who only really made one key mistake. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the game. Any comments will be appreciated. And until next time, bye for now.